Hi, I'm Lily and this is Curatorial Knits. This is a knitting podcast or vlog all about what I'm making in my knitting and how I'm thinking about it as an art curator. I'm based in Northern California in the Bay Area and I'm delighted to be back. I am really excited to talk about my makes. It's been a little while. I don't have a ton of updates, but I'm really excited to talk about what I'm working on. A little bit of housekeeping. I'm excited to say that there's now 5,000 subscribers to the Curatorial Knits channel, so I just wanted to say thanks so much for that. Anyway, I'm trying to think if there's any other kind of housekeeping things I wanted to talk about before we dive on in. I think that might be it. I'm really excited to talk about, first of all, what I'm wearing, which is a kind of, I don't want to say sporadic, but kind of impromptu cast on. This is the mini mock neck tank from Jessie May Designs, and this is the second pattern I've made from her. The first was the Great Gingham Raglan, which I really, or was that it? Yeah, Great Gingham Raglan, which I really enjoyed making. I have a video about that kind of major modification I made to the neckline of that too. So if you're interested in that, I'll link that video below. But I was just really looking for kind of an instant gratification project. We'll talk about why in a little bit, but I absolutely loved making this piece. I think I knocked it out in like 10 days. It was incredibly speedy, which for some reason I did not think it would be. I really love it. This is my first time wearing it. It's right off the blocks, the blocking blocks. I'll stand up a little bit to give you an idea. I would definitely make some changes. I'm going to make another one for sure. Maybe even make another one in the next few months. I would definitely change a few things about it. I really like how deep the armholes are, but they're still a little too deep for me to wear this just as a tank and not over something. So I don't think it was my row gauge, but I think I would actually knit a whole size smaller to give me more negative ease. So I knit this knowing that it was going to be more of a slip over piece for me. I would not be wearing this on its own because it is knit out of Wandering Flock's Merino Singles held with a Wandering Flock mohair. So it is definitely like a kind of, it's not super warm, but it's definitely something that's perfect for today where it's like mid 60s and a little bit breezy, so it's nice to have a little bit more on top. But as soon as you kind of would start walking in the sun, you'd want to take it off. That's kind of the vibe. It's very appropriate for the Bay Area actually, which is like, you know, the joke is that it's the perfect place for sweaters and that whenever you leave the house, you always have the wrong weight of jacket with you because our weather changes so frequently and there can be such big swings in temperature depending on what part of the Bay you're in. So like when I go into San Francisco for my day job, I am definitely like bundled up and I sometimes like strip off layers as I'm coming off the train here in the East Bay. And then you can go up, you know, through the tunnel, basically far East Bay, and the next thing you know, it's like 100 degrees. So it's really like quick changes in temperature. And so I felt like this was a really great thing to have. So I told you the yarn I used for it. What I would do to make this again is I would definitely go down a full size. I knit the small, so I'd probably make the extra small, and that's partly because of my gauge as well. I am, as I've mentioned before, working on my loose knitter vibes, and I'm trying to get my stitches kind of closer to the tip of the needle as I'm working them, just to remain kind of more consistent, first of all, in terms of my stitches, both for my knits and my purls. And that was a really good practice in this because you do knit, you knit this flat front, the back panel, and then add the front sides kind of front two sides and then join in the round at the bottom here. But like I said, I would probably stop a little bit sooner if I'm gonna wear this as a tank top, which I do want to make one that's much more kind of has the appropriate amount of negative ease. And also I'd stop the front panel and go to join in the round. I would say like a good 1.5 inches before the instructions have you do that. So that'll need a little bit of tweaking, but I think this is a fantastic pattern. I get the hype. I understand why people make multiple of them. I know Stress Knits, I think her name is Stacy. She's made like a bazillion of them, and I think she even has like a course on how to make them. But I do think that the pattern's super intuitive. I think it's super well written, and I get it. I would definitely make another one, and I'm looking forward to making another one. I might also end up going down a needle size, so I'll definitely have to do some gauge swatching to make sure that I'm not going like too small after this one. But I love it, and it also, the color is Celadon from the Wandering Flock, and I think her colors are so remarkable, and this is just the most spring-like but still kind of sophisticated and romantic, and I adore it. So I love this. I'm really happy it's done, and like I said, it was a really nice kind of palette cleansing knit that I think I was just gonna get a ton of use out of. So yay for mini mock necks, and yay for spring. My second finished object, it is definitely too warm for today, but I have worn a ton because it is fabulous and another kind of springy knit. And this is my Lauder sweater, which I did as a test knit for Rebecca Clow of the Curatorial Knitting Podcast, and it is done. It is fabulous and I love it. It was so much fun to make. I think everybody's gonna end up making one of these. It is a really fun knit. I think I was kind of getting sick of the cables by the second sleeve, but that's a long time to like stay interested in cables. I mean, it's all over colorwork, all over cabled sweater. And I really love the V-neck neckline. It's so pretty with these two cables that kind of trace that V. Oh my gosh, I love it. I super love it. I definitely would be interested in making a cardigan. There's a cardigan version that comes in the same pattern. Here's that kind of super classic, beautiful shoulder pickup here that you do, which keeps the integrity of the cable all the way down through the shoulder cap. I will say, I think I mentioned this last time, the most challenging knitting part of this is definitely doing your short row shaping in the cable pattern for the top of your shoulder here. I would definitely recommend this as a like intermediate pattern. I don't think that it's the kind of thing where it's fully difficult. It didn't take me that long, but the concepts of it, I think you would want to be really comfortable with short rows before you try to do short rows in cable pattern in the shaping for your arms. That's just my 2 cents, just this gal's opinion. But it was really fun, and yeah, I love wearing it. So with my pink and my green, I'm feeling very spring-like today. It's kind of the perfect day for it. I'm actually kind of surprised I'm doing this today, to be honest. So I'm gonna drink a sip of tea. I ran 13 miles this morning. I think I mentioned this, I'm training for a half marathon, which is now in 2 weeks. The fluff. And the training has been really kind of different this time around than when I was training for the full marathon. I feel like the full marathon training was really just about like getting the time on my feet, getting the miles in, and this training has been much more focused on like getting faster. and I'm not sure how I feel about that. So it means that like in my long runs, like in the middle of them, I go at like a faster pace for some of the miles, like run 5 miles, then like run 3 miles quite quickly, and then like run another mile slowly, and then another mile like very quickly, and then kind of a few miles of, frankly, what today were like junk miles at the end, just like get me back to my car. So it's pretty challenging. I feel good today. This time last week, I definitely felt like garbage. So it does feel like I'm getting better at doing this kind of work, but yeah, I'm kind of surprised I was able to make this happen today, and delighted, frankly. I wasn't sure I was gonna have the energy, and kind of wasn't just gonna want to put my feet up the wall for an hour and a half when I got back. But this has been, yeah, a really fun training session in some ways, because it's so much, the weather's so much nicer. Last time I was training for a race, it was really kind of cold and rainy a lot. So this has been really nice to be able to run in the sun and watch all the different flowers bloom. And actually, maybe I'll throw in a few photos from my run today, because I just couldn't help myself. I was running all along the Bay Trail, which goes under the Bay Bridge and then up all the way through Berkeley, and then up into Albany. So that was really cool, because I was by the water the whole time, and it was a little bit windy, and so there were moments when like the waves would crash on the rocks, and I'd get like a little spray of sea on me, and it was kind of romantic and nice. So anyway, sorry for the tangent, but I am here, and I'm really excited to be talking about spring knits today, for sure. I think that might be the theme that we're going for. So these are my 2 finished objects. Like I said, I've already worn the heck out of this, and I know I will continue to. I really like it with jeans, and then I've also worn it with a white skirt, and I've also worn it with, what else did I wear it with recently? Oh, I threw it on over a denim dress, which was kind of fun. And I got to kind of pop the collar of the denim dress with it, and that was like a nice way to kind of have an extra layer in the evenings. It's like a denim shirt dress. So I thought that was a fun way to style it that I hadn't really thought of when it was on the needles. So that was really great. Works in progress, I have 2, which is like pretty exciting. Oh no, I have 3. Shoot, 1 second. Let me make sure I have the other one. I do, oh good, okay. So I have 3 like honest to God, like in progress works in progress. The first is that mashup of sweater number 18, and I said it was sweater number 18, but now I'm worried that it wasn't. And the Sandnes Garn Lou Gensler pattern. So sweater 18 is by My Favorite Things Knitwear, and the Lou Gensler pattern is from the Sandnes Garn Soft for Women. And I just really liked the idea of this 2x2 rib that continued into the raglan. And so I kind of did this a little more self-drafty than other things I've done, and I really appreciated everyone's feedback on the seam. I did split it, and I did do a really long ribbing, and I have to say I really am enjoying the way that this turned out on the seam. I think when it blocks out, it's gonna look so cool. So basically, I continued the raglan ribbing and made that into a panel along the side, and then can split that right down the middle into my ribbing. And I did do the back quite long, so I think this is 4.5 inches on the back, and then 3.5 inches in the front. So the kind of wear case for this is that I wanted something squishy that I could throw on over leggings to run to the shops or run to do school pickup. So I wanted it to cover my bum, and I also wanted it to be really kind of cozy and good for those like foggy Bay Area mornings. So that's the case for this. I just have to polish off these sleeves. I don't think it's gonna take that long. This is not a huge priority for me because it's definitely a lot warmer than what I'll need for the foreseeable, but I do wanna just kind of knock it off or kind of check it off my list. So I'll kind of get going on this, but I just put it on these giant needles for the moment, just as kind of a placeholder after I cast it on. So yeah, this is gonna be fun, I think. I'm really appreciative of the feedback too, because people gave me really good advice about how to do the split and also kind of how long the ribbing should be, and just really appreciate you all kind of bringing the creativity to this. So cheers, thanks for that. Oh, and I didn't mention the yarn in this, which is feels so good. This is Chelsea Yarn Co. and it is pretty luxe. She calls it luxe and she's not wrong. It is the DK Alpaca held with a strand of the Explorer Knits and Fibers Suri in the Cliffs of Moher, I think, palette. I will put all of the links below, which I always do, in the description box. So all the details about the yarn and I always like to link back to the patterns too, because even though I'm not great at Ravelry, it is really fun to see, just to have that like easy link back so you know what pattern I'm talking about. Then the main whip of the moment is my Twigs. And for everyone, can I just say like thank you for sticking with me. This has been such a labor of love. I still can't believe I'm still showing it. It's been almost a year on the needles, but I'm really truly almost there. I think I'm gonna try to finish this sleeve this week. I ended up loving doing this last color work panel, and excuse all the kind of stringy things. I'm not, like, don't talk to me about weaving in my ends on this. I know it's gonna be a mess, and I'm just gonna dedicate an afternoon to it and just like weave everything in. And luckily this yarn I think will felt really beautifully on the inside. I think all the little bits will be fine, but we're not there yet. Don't get me too excited. Okay, so this last color work panel was both so fun and I think has turned out so beautifully. I adore it. I adore it. I think it looks so crisp and really beautiful. I am genuinely looking forward to doing it again in the sleeve. And this is gonna sound really silly, but I keep getting so surprised by this sleeve. It's like going so quickly. I finished the first color work section and I was like, why did that take such a short amount of time? How is that possible? And I forget that it's because, you know, I'm now working on, I think the stitch count right now is like just under 100 stitches, and down here it was like 400 stitches. So of course it's feeling like it's taking a lot less time, which is awesome. And it's making it feel fast and kind of go more swiftly. If you haven't been around, then you'll know that I have been actually I know that I could figure this out by blocking it, but every time I work on this, and I think one of the reasons it's taken me so long to complete is that I am absolutely terrified about the kind of difference in gauge that I have in between the color work sections. So you can see there's a lot of like rippling there. And could I have just blocked this as the body and then done the sleeves and just like figured out what was going to happen? Absolutely. But that's information I don't feel like I can take right now. Like if I block it and it's terrible, I'm never gonna finish this thing. So what I've decided to do instead, for better or for worse, is I'm just gonna finish it and then I'll block it. And then it will be what it will be. I do go down in needle size. I have interchangeable needles and I just screw off the ends and screw on. I've been working this, the body I did in 1.5, I believe, for the color work, and then size 1 needles for the stockinette sections. And then here I actually was getting much closer to gauge because I'm working small circular, so the color work is size 2 needles, and then again the stockinette section is size 1, but you can still see like there's a huge difference because you see that rippling there. Oh, sorry, I gotta take a sip of tea. I'm not excited about this. I mean, I am. I'm really excited for it to be done, but I'm so worried that I've like truly made something that I won't wear. But I'm also kind of weirdly excited because what if I block it and blocking is magic and it is totally wearable? So basically it's kind of like running. It's like I am having an constant internal monologue as I'm working on this knit. Like, maybe it'll be great, maybe it won't be great. I just have to put one foot in front of the other. It's kind of like when I'm playing with my pace when I'm running and I'm thinking, oh, you know, this is gonna be a really, you know, good time, and then the next mile you think, oh my gosh, this is absolutely like I'm in the doldrums of it, I'm never gonna get out, and then you're like, well, no, maybe I can do it. So that's the vibe of my like mental game on this knit. I still think it's possible I will finish it before my birthday. I have exactly 2 weeks, and I think it is definitely possible. I was really surprised. I did all of this arm section in like a day and a half, I want to say. Again, because the circumference is so much smaller, you're just like, this is great. So I think it's really possible, and I just have to keep plugging along. There's quite a long ribbing along the forearm, but again, it's just straight ribbing and there's no color work. So I'm hopeful that this might actually happen and I can finish it before the first week of May is over, which would be awesome, because this was my birthday cast on last year, for those of you who were not with us for the literally epic knit that this has been. I have some other potential cast-ons to talk about, and I'm definitely gonna like remember this when I'm talking about what my plans are, okay? So because I'm gonna ask for more feedback, and I definitely, like, we need to remember where we've come from to think about where we're going. So yeah, this is definitely the main focus of my knitting right now, now that this is finished. But I will say, I don't know, I had some moments where I was like knitting on the mini mock neck and thinking I should really be finishing my twigs, and I thought, no, this is a joy. I had so much pleasure knitting this, and that's why another reason I really want to cast another one on is it is a truly like joyful project. I don't think I mentioned this before, sorry for going back and forth, but you knit the ribbing for this side piece as you're going, and so when you're done at the bottom, you just pick up and knit your collar, and then you're completely done, like with the whole piece. So that sense of that instant gratification, and also the fact that this ribbing isn't very fiddly, like it feels really secure, and also it's not double knit, but it has that double knit energy. I won't talk about the stitching because it's in a paid for pattern, but again, I highly recommend this knit. It was super, super satisfying. So I'm glad that I did it, and I'm not gonna beat myself up about not being done with this, which I would have been probably if I hadn't cast this on. But you know what? As I was telling my mom the other day, and as I told another friend at our knit group a couple weeks ago, there are no knitting police. Like, no one's gonna come for you. No one's gonna tell you you're doing it wrong. Your projects are for you. So I'm saying that to myself. I'm glad that I have this. I'm glad that I worked on it when I did. And I still think it's possible that I could finish this off in the next 10 days or so. So fingers crossed. My next whip, I'm kind of like proud of myself for picking this bad boy back up. This is the Satellite Shawl, which was part of my, I suppose, part of my whip down experience. I am making, this is a pattern by Andrea Mowry of Drea Renee Knits. I've done three whole new sections. I don't know how to show shawls because this is, again, like only my second shawl ever, though I cast this on almost 2 years ago. I still love it, and I'm really, really happy with what's going on. And I'm changing something up. So I'm making a fairly big mod that I'm quite excited about. So you have 4, is that right? Yeah, 4 colors going on with this shawl, right? You have your main color, which for me is this beautiful light turquoise, and this is the Helix by La Bien-Aimée, which is, I'm holding double, and it's their Falkland, I think, Falkland Merino, I think that's right, and it's delightful. It's very springy, in terms of not springy like spring weather, springy like the, it has a lot of bounce. Sorry, I've been using that word in 2 different ways today. Then my second color is this beautiful Suri, also from La Bien-Aimée. I think this is called Bone or Avignon. Again, the color names will be down below. And then this is from A Verb for Keeping Warm, their Suri, in this beautiful kind of tawny, how would I explain this color? It's not brown, it's not pink, it's kind of terracotta, but much softer and less orange than a terracotta. I would say much more muted. So we have that, and then the final one is another Suri in a deep dark navy. So what I'd like to do, and what I'm kind of excited about, is I'm going to start switching these up. So in the original pattern, each segment, whether it's striped ribbing or these short row kind of wedge ribbing sections or the brioche section, the colors remain the same. But what I'm going to do is mix it up. So I'm going to do that by putting the, switching the colors for the navy and the and that terracotta color. They're gonna swap out. So now that I've done this whole section of terracotta, I'm going to do a section of brioche, and I'm either in the brioche in the white with as the contrast color, and then the next section will be the plain ribbing in navy, and then another section of the wedge with the terracotta, and then I'm going to keep swapping them out. So I know that's kind of, I don't know, maybe a little out there, but I wanted to have there be a sense of rhythm so that there's a consistency on the short end. So this is basically also the halfway point of the shawl in terms of the sections. So the sections will keep getting bigger, but then the rhythm of them will shift because the colors will shift positions. Does that make sense? Anyway, I just thought it would be a nice way to mix things up and also to get less of the kind of large swaths of color that feel more like blocky to me. So yeah, that's something I'm playing with. And I'm really glad I picked this back up. I think that once it's done, I will really get a lot of wear out of it. And yes, I am very, very aware that the color scheme of this and my twigs, there's a lot of echoing happening here, and I'm okay with it. That's just, it is what it is. And I'm really delighted by this project again, and I'm glad that I picked it back up. Though I'm also, I don't know when it's gonna get done, to be honest. Because that's my last so this is my last active whip. And now we get to talk about my plans. I still have on ice, so in terms of the whip down, which if you haven't seen my kind of end of 2023 video, which was forever ago now, I really wanted to kind of hone in on all my active whips, do a full accounting and a kind of accountability in more ways than one about where I was and what was kind of working, and things that maybe I might want to frog or think about a different use for the yarn. I still have my High Lonesome sweater for my husband, which is in kind of a timeout because of gauge issues, and just the fact that I have endless amounts of stockinette to knit in it. And then I also have a cardigan that I'm not sure about still, if I'm gonna end up frogging that or not. And besides that, I'm kind of leaving those aside. 3 active whips is kind of, I mean, that's kind of great for me. That's like, it's pretty real. But I have a lot of plans. And so the rest of the focus today is really going to be thinking through what might come next. I have one large acquisition, or large for me acquisition. It was not like a huge, well, potato, who nobody's comparing anything. But I bought a bunch of yarn from Hello Stella Fibers because I was so excited by the colors in her Pride and Prejudice offering. So this was, I think, a Advent offering for at the end of last year, and then there was so much kind of demand for it, including for me. I did not know about the project beforehand, but I saw it on Instagram and I was so in love with these colors, and I instantly wanted to make the Petit knit Celeste sweater using some of these colors. I'm still super committed to that project. And so I'll show you what I got. Okay, here's what I got. Her Rustic DK, which is, I have to read the tag, sorry. It just says Highland wool, 100% Highland wool. It's 100 grams to 246 yards. And so what I thought I would do is I would get a full skein of the colors that I absolutely adored, that I think she does such an amazing, her sense of color is so inspiring to me. I really, really identify with it. It's lots and lots of brights, but they're all really, really fine-tuned, I find. So I do like bright colors, but I think that the way that she combines her palettes, they have just a really kind of a depth of feeling and of sophistication. They also, more than other hand dyers that I've seen, particularly folks who work in this kind of wool, she just has a really kind of much more nuanced sense of her colors too, which I really appreciate a lot. So the idea was to get one main color and then kind of my favorite brights to do the Celeste sweater in. And then after I had placed my order, I saw I hadn't ordered another color. And I thought, what if I got basically another main color and I was able to mix and match. So for colorwork sweaters, if you are new here, the Twigs is definitely an outlier in terms of me not finishing a colorwork sweater. I love doing colorwork. It is so satisfying to me. It was my first love. The first sweater I ever made was an all over stranded colorwork design called the Festive Doodle from Caitlin Hunter. I really, really like following those charts. I find it really satisfying. So I knew that's how I wanted to use this yarn too, because it's rustic. I wanted to do something in DK though, because I was just coming off of my 28 stitch, should be I think 29 stitch gauge of the Twigs, and I wanted something that was going to move a bit more swiftly and with which I could get a little bit more higher kind of contrast. So what I ended up doing was getting 2 main color quantities and then a kind of mix and match of skeins to do contrast colors. So the idea is now that I'll have 2 projects with this yarn. One, I still want to do the Celeste sweater, and so I'll just cut to the chase. The main color that I got is probably no surprise. It's a blue. This is called I've Been So Blind, and it comes from the really beautiful navy blue, kind of brighter navy blue. This is coming out more purple on camera than it is in real life, but I'll give it one more shot. That Keira Knightley wears in the 2005 version of Pride and Prejudice. I have thoughts about Pride and Prejudice if you're curious, the 1995 versus 2005 versions. I grew up with the 95 version. I am a 90s baby. I loved it. I watched it, the whole thing, at like multiple sleepovers in middle school. Like there's no way that it is not like a cultural icon. That said, I love what they did with the 2005 version of Pride and Prejudice. It is absolutely the like not the book, because in the book so much of the action, like the kind of heightened emotional moments, all take place inside, and the 2005 movie like switches that around so that everything that is like super emotive takes place outside. They really turn it from like a Regency era vibe to much more of a romantic vibe, but I'm okay with that because I think they do such a like successful job at that, and also that's kind of how I love to see aesthetics portrayed, is this like matching your kind of being more in touch with your natural surroundings. So anyway, that's one of the reasons I love it. So this is the main color. Sorry, this is gonna be such a weird episode. I'm so sorry. This is the main color of my Celeste sweater. And then let's just go through all the amazing colors that I got to be contrast colors. First, I'll do the greens. This is Your Hands Are Cold. And this is Oh, Do Hold a Ball. And I just think these are really fun, and it's great wearing this. Like, they're also, in my mind, so different, but clearly part of the same story. So these are the greens. And then this great pink, which is called Ribbons, and a fabulous, fabulous red. This is Officers, which, if you know this, the reference in both of these, I think they go together really well. First comes Ribbons, then Officers, I think, or maybe the inverse, depending on how you read it. And then the lighter blues are She's Blooming and Comprehensive Ass, which I just love. And this is so Bingley's suit in that last scene with him, if you know the reference again. It's really lovely. And then there's this great brown. It has a lot of gold in it, and this is called Positively Medieval. and it's really lovely. So those are all the kind of main color or contrast colors. And this is what I wrote to her to ask if I could add to my order, because I absolutely fell so hard on this. This is called Most Ardently, and it is such a cool color. It's basically kind of like what I'm wearing right now in terms of green and my FO pink, right? But there's a lot going on. So it's gonna draw out all of the browns, and there's a really wonderful blue undertone as well in parts of the green that feels like it'll match really well. And so this is the other kind of main color that I have for a color work project. The Celeste, I feel like I know what I wanna do. I am not feeling super eager to cast that on right now. This one I do though, because my idea for this is to make it a colorwork cardigan and steek it. So I've also been super inspired this spring by the new Marie Wallin book called Erin, which I have ordered, and I actually got the PDF of this morning. So the hard copy book is on its way to me, but she does offer you the PDF versions. I have a couple of her books. I have not made any of her patterns yet. I'm going to swatch, obviously, but based on what I've read in the pattern book and what I've seen of her new British Breeds yarn, it's twice as thick as her main yarn. And I might be able to get gauge using this DK. And if so, I have some ideas. Even if not, I have some ideas. There's a really cool steeked colorwork sweater that came out from Wool & Pine Designs. I think it came out in the fall, and it's called the Voyage Cardigan. And my original idea was just to knit that with this as the main color and then a whole selection of these. It is knit as a sequence of motifs. And so there are small colorwork repeats of motifs, and that it's like bands. So it's one after another. So that was my original plan. Then I started looking through the Erin book from Marie Wallin. And while the cardigan that I actually like the best in that is called the Alwick open cardigan, it looks stunning. I'll put a picture here. It is knit back and front, and while I'm sure that it would be fine to figure out color work while purling, and I have done it a little bit, I don't think I love it, and I'm not sure that I want to do that. So instead, what I'm thinking I might do is actually use some of the charts from the Erin book, particularly those in the Seton sweater, which is from Marie Wallin, and that's this. I'll put it up here. To use those motifs in the Voyage cardigan pattern, so that I can do the steeking, which I'm excited to try, and try Marie Wallin's incredible colorwork designs, which are super inspiring, and then potentially make more pieces from her collection in her own yarn. But that's what I'm thinking. So again, it's not like, how do I explain this? I feel like it's gonna go more swiftly than the sticks. Anything is gonna be faster than the sticks, let's just be honest. But it is like another kind of larger colorwork project that involves a new technique. Steeking, I have steeked one sweater before, but it was a knit collage sweater, and so the yarn was so super bulky that it was very easy to feel confident in my what's it called, crochet edging. And I'm quite nervous about the idea of doing either a seamed edge work or figuring that out. That said, I'm super excited about this, and I'm pretty sure that is gonna be what I cast on next. But I have a couple other options. Some are like totally ready to go. Like this little project bag, it's a project, like literally completely ready to go. I just have to wind the main color yarn. This is for I have the pattern all printed out. Yes, I am a millennial, and yes, I still print out all my patterns. I don't like using my iPad for my patterns. I don't like using my phone for my patterns. I want to see the physical thing. And it also means that I can knit without having my technology up and like second screening. I've been listening to a lot of books on tape recently. And I like just not having even though I'm using a screen technology to do that, there's nothing on. Does that make sense? Like it's a blank screen. And I like having just the paper and then kind of listening. That's what I've been doing actually for the past, I guess I want to say like 3 weeks, and it's been really satisfying. Anyway, so this is all ready to go. The Pressed Flowers cardigan, it's something I know I want as an object. I have the yarn already. I'm using the Magpie's Nest Sport, which is a Curatorial that I absolutely love. This is in the color Twilight. It's a really cool gray, kind of like a steel gray, but rather than with like, it has more green undertones than blue undertones in it. And then I have these awesome custom spin cycle cakes, which I think this will just look so cool. With the kind of cranberry and gray and teal and green, and yeah. So let me remember the name of this. Where's the, oh my goodness. Aha. Oh my gosh. This one doesn't have its yarn band either. But this is the custom colorway from, I think I want to say it's Fiber House. I'll paste it below because they need the shout out, because this is such an awesome color and I haven't seen it anywhere else. It's very, very cool. Fiber Space, I think that's what it is. And it's such a great color. So yeah, this is all ready to go. And I feel like the pressed flowers is something that like I was on the bandwagon for super early and like still have not done any of it. Haven't done the hat, haven't done the shawl, haven't done the sweater, haven't done the cardigan. Would really like to do it. So, and it's all ready to go. So this was definitely, it's kind of like what I feel like I should cast on. Next up, is my Cloud cardigan, which I nearly cast on, or not cardigan, Cloud pullover, the new Petit knit kind of big fuzzy gauge thing. I'm really excited about this because I was going to make the weekender with all of the modifications for like the big turtleneck that Jackie Rose had done. And I was excited about that, and I was going to use this big birdie. But I had kind of played with this idea and done a test marl with this amazing Nutidin as like a pairing for it, and they look so cool together. But then the gauge would have been off, and it was already going to be such a modified project for the weekender that I felt like I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that much modification. So when the Cloud pullover came out from Petit Knit, I think I'll be right on gauge, and it gives me that like big poofy idea that I'm really looking for this. So that's fun, and I'm excited about it. I think I'll wear it all the time also. And it's unlike anything else I have in my wardrobe. So that's a possibility. And then the last possibility, I will be very honest with you, I will not be casting on. But it's a reminder to myself that I have this, that it is a project that will that I need to do, that I want to do, and that it would be on the same kind of energy as the Twigs. And that is the boho stickling sweater kit that my marvelous mama got for me. And this is the blue one, and I have all of the whole thing. And I won't show you the chart, but look at these beautiful colors. So gorgeous. And it seems like the actual yoke, I think I could do it. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Sorry, you can't see those colors very well, I realize. That's not really helpful. Maybe this way is easier. Yeah. So basically there's like kind of an olive green, a brighter green, and then a lot of blue. And the main color of the body is this beautiful blue Angora. It's absolutely stunning. It feels incredible, and it's lace weight. It's so gorgeous. And I would knit the entire body of the sweater. I would probably need to knit on a size 0 or a US 0, or maybe I could get away with a 1. So probably not going to cast this on. But it's definitely something I want, and I have everything I need to actually do it. But I'm not, after Twigs, I'm just not feeling like I can do another toothpick knit right now. So those are the projects I'm most excited about casting on. I think that I will probably end up doing the Voyage sweater and like getting really creative with the charts and having some fun with that. I think that that would be a nice thing to do. And also continue my like cardigan moment. I will say my kind of biggest surprise after doing the What I Knit Last Year video is I finally put the buttons on my Please Don't Ask sweater, or Please Don't Ask cardigan, and I've started wearing it a bunch. I've worn it to the office a lot, or to the gallery. I wore it out the other night with some girlfriends. I've actually loaned it to people. Like it's really become a great resource. So I'm on that cardigan train right now too. And I think that's about it. Kind of a quickie. Really, really glad I was able to sit down and do this. I didn't bring out the yarn that I would do for another one of these bad boys, another mini mock neck, but I could do that again as soon as the Twigs is done and feel really accomplished, and like that was a good idea too. So we'll see what comes next. But I would really love your feedback. Please do let me know. I'm so excited about this kind of big color work moment that I'm having, especially the idea of doing it in DK just feels like such a relief. And I guess that's it. In other news, what else am I working on these days? I am really excited about an exhibition that's opening in the gallery in the next couple of weeks. I guess we are 3 weeks out from that. A really amazing Indian American international artist. She's remarkable, named Reena Banerjee, is going to be doing a lot of installations, and her drawings just arrived from the studio and they're absolutely beautiful. A lot of really amazing paintings on paper as well. So that's really exciting. And the course that I've been working on for a really long time, almost 6 months now, is completely filmed, and that feels really, really great. I absolutely credit this community and this practice of like talking to people who aren't there, for helping me get the confidence to put myself out there with this course. This is for my art world life. I have a course that is going to be teaching folks, or that already has, because I did a dry run of it during the fall, that teaches folks how to learn about and purchase artworks with confidence and as both kind of investments and with a lot of meaning. So I'm really excited about that, though also like super nervous. I have my race coming up. It's actually on my birthday, so that'll be really fun. There are tacos afterwards, which is one of my favorite things. And then we're gonna have a few people over to the house just to hang out in the garden. And honestly, I'm kind of already getting ready for summer. I'm really excited to say we're gonna be doing some fun stuff over the summer and heading down to Ojai for a while and helping take care of my parents' dog and play and get hopefully a lot of beach time too. So yeah, it's nice to catch up and check in, and please let me know your thoughts on next cast-ons. I'm honestly really ready for a new cast-on. I'm really ready for like another kind of bigger project that I can sink my teeth into, and I'd really love your feedback. So thank you all for being here, and also for the presence that you bring to your knitting work, to your creativity, and for just creating one more stitch at a time, for putting yourself out into the world with your thoughts and your deeds. What you do and what you think and what you make really matters. So thank you so much, and I'll hopefully catch up with you guys again soon. Bye!